Hey guys, what's up? My name's Avanish Hegde and you're watching the Sports Wrap as usual. And there's lots of things which have gone on this week and there's lots of things to look forward next week. So we're going to tell you all of this and much more in this edition of Sports Wrap. Right, let's start with some basketball first because the NBA returns after this coronavirus pandemic, of course, in Orlando this week. And we have to tell you about that because a lot is at stake. Yup, its 22 NBA teams restart the season inside a biosecure bubble in Orlando this week. 89 international players from 34 countries and territories are set to feature when basketball returns from its 4.5-month COVID-19 pandemic enforced break. Now, the NBA, which has halted its season in March due to the pandemic, will have 22 out of 30 teams play 8 seeding teams to determine a full 16-team playoff field that will follow the traditional postseason format with 4 best-of-7 series. Remember, all games, practices and accommodation are at the Walt Disney World Resort, which has multiple hotels and arenas and allows the league to limit outside exposure to curb the spread of the virus. Right, so moving on to some tennis news next is, of course, Roger Federer has expressed his desire to win a singles gold medal at the next year's Olympics. Now, what's interesting to note here is that Federer, remember, won the silver medal in the 2012 London Olympics, losing to Andy Murray, of course. And, of course, he secured a doubles gold with Stan Wawrinka in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. So only time will tell if Federer can get another feather in his hat. Some cricket news next is England, of course, have named an unchanged 11, or shall I say 14, for the series against Pakistan coming up. Remember, England did so well to come back in that series against West Indies, winning 2-1. The talk of the town, of course, is Stuart Broad because he entered the 500 club, of course, and only time will tell who will be the next player to enter that elite list. Now, sticking with cricket just before we go, because we have to, of course, tell you about the ICC Super League, the brand new edition come up by the ICC earlier this week, and it does provide a pathway to the ICC Men's World Cup 2023. So what you need to know, here's an explainer to tell you more. Yes, the ICC have introduced a brand new league to revitalise one-day international cricket. So why has it been introduced? Now, the main reason why it has been introduced is to provide context to ODI cricket between 2 World Cups. So how many teams will be competing? The answer to that question is 13. 12 full members from the ICC, and that include, of course, India, England, Australia, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Ireland, Zimbabwe, South Africa and the West Indies. The 13th team, of course, is the Netherlands, who won the World Cricket League Championship featuring the associate members. So what is the tournament format, you may ask? Each team plays 4 home series and 4 away series. Now, each series contains 3 one-day international games, which makes it a total of 12 plus 12, 24 into 13 teams, of course, which gives you a whopping number of 312 games in this particular league. Moving on then, who plays who, you might ask? Well, that's the most important question, because if you take a look at this, it will explain absolutely everything. Now, for example, Mohammad Ahmed won't be bowling to Virat Kohli, or Jos Buttler won't be facing Nadal Rashid. But you take a look at India, for example. So we know for a fact that each team plays 8 teams, and that means India play 4 home series, 4 away series. Now that includes teams from, of course, anything but Bangladesh, Pakistan, Ireland and the Netherlands. Moving on to the next piece of information. The point system, and that is, of course, very crucial to learn. 10 points for a win, 5 points for a tie or no result or for an abandoned game, and you get nothing for a loss. But there's another important question. Are all ODIs part of the Super League? Well, let's illustrate. For example, Australia take on Sri Lanka in June 2022 according to the ICC FTP. 5 one-day internationals have been scheduled between the 2 sides, but only 3 out of them will be calculated for the league. Similarly, when we take a look at India, on the other hand, they take on Australia and New Zealand twice during the league calendar, but only 1 of those series each will be counted in the league. Elsewhere, it's also interesting to understand Afghanistan's position because they're scheduled to play 9 one-day international sides, but according to the league purview, you can play just 8.
So how many teams qualify? Common knowledge tells us that India has an automatic qualification being the host for the 2023 event. So that leaves 7 highest placed teams, barring India, who will make the cut. Well, 5 teams will be left out though, and these teams along with the 5 associate sides will take part in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup Qualifier 2023, and the 2 finalists will make the cut for the 10-team event. So the important question we want to ask you, are you ready? But certainly, I am. Watch the space for more.
Right, lastly, to wrap up things in Sports Wrap, as usual, we have that calendar for you for the next week and seeing what sports does trickle down on our calendars. First up, it's of course FA Cup action, the final on Saturday between Arsenal and Chelsea. There is the F1 Grand Prix to look forward to as well, the British Grand Prix from Silverstone. No fans, remember, but that'll be a mouth-watering one, especially given Lewis Hamilton and how he's been. And of course, the cricketing action continues with England versus Ireland in that all-important ODI series as well. So lots of football, cricket, and of course, we've not mentioned the basketball too. So pretty much action-packed one for you sports fans. And thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate it as usual. That was your sports dosage for the week from me, Avanish Hegde. Until next time, we'll see you around.